the most essential and powerful part of communication, is often overlooked by leaders. It's not just about our words or delivery. It's about our ability to listen well and deeply. To quote my business partner Colin McRae in his blog, "Are You a Good Listener?" Listening is the duct tape of human connection and is umbilically tied to being a great leader. Listening helps us see more, learn, and understand. It is also crucial for building connections and trusting relationships with our teams, peers, and others in our lives. This theme is also prevalent in much of the content we write. Why are we revisiting this topic? We have observed that in our demanding, unpredictable, and distributed work world, our listening skills are deteriorating. I don't think I've ever witnessed a time in my long career when we have been more distracted, time-pressed, and overextended. Many of us simply believe that we don't have time to focus on our listening skills. We rush from one task to another, with no time to even take a break between meetings, let alone listen attentively, learn, gather input, and provide feedback. Even one-on-one meetings, which are arguably the best opportunity for leaders to listen, have become transactional, inconsistent, or non-existent. Let's face it, listening takes time, and we feel like we don't have enough of it. We are all too busy to listen. At least that's what we tell ourselves. Not prioritizing listening as a skill has numerous negative consequences, including miscommunication, decreased productivity, missed opportunities, lack of empathy, ineffective problem solving, and reduced team cohesion and performance. Another downside, which is particularly important to us at Fluency, is that listening is a fundamental aspect of learning and personal growth. If we don't prioritize it, we may miss valuable opportunities to expand our knowledge and skills. And in today's world, if we are not learning, we are falling behind. The challenge with listening: there is a difference between hearing, the function of perceiving sound, and listening, paying attention to a message, understanding it, and responding to it either verbally or physically. In his book, How to Listen, Oscar Trimboli shares the following statistics. Our speaking speed is 125 words per minute. Our listening speed is 400 words per minute. Our thinking speed is 900 words per minute. This means that we think faster than we speak and listen much faster than the speaker's talking speed. This explains why I sometimes interrupt or finish people's sentences, a habit I am working on to improve. Because we can listen 4 times faster than they can speak, it creates temptations for the listener such as anticipating, judging, distraction and drifting away, problem solving or fixing the person, all while waiting for the speaker's words to catch up with them, says Trimboli. He also explains that for the speaker, the gap is even wider because we can think 9 times faster than we speak. This means that we can only express about 14% of what we are thinking, and what we initially express is often a narrow perspective and rarely the whole story, or the real challenge. Therefore, as leaders, if we are distracted, in a hurry, and latching onto the first thing that is said, we are not truly listening, and we are missing important social and emotional cues. These missed opportunities are where we can show empathy or offer support. The myth of multitasking. Divided attention is the first barrier to effective listening. The proverb, "If you chase 2 rabbits, you will not catch either one," teaches us about the power of focus. Doing 2 things at once divides our attention and spreads our cognitive resources thin, making it difficult to fully focus on and process the information we are supposed to be listening to. There is a relationship between listening and working memory. Working memory is located in the most modern part of the brain and is where the brain processes human communication and listening. In the book How to Listen, we are introduced to Stephen van der Stickel, a psychologist and global expert on attention and how to effectively focus it. He explains that working memory is fragile, finite, and easily overwhelmed. That's why when we externalize our thoughts by writing them down or saying them aloud, we create space in our working memory. To effectively listen, rather than just hear, you need to comprehend, remember, and contribute to the conversation. Therefore, you will be using the majority of your working memory. To effectively use your working memory, you need to bring your available attention into focus and minimize distractions, including electronic devices. 3 ways to be a better listener. Tune up to tune in. Our mindset sets the tone. Trimboli suggests that no matter how strongly you intend to bring your attention and focus to a conversation, listening begins before you even enter the discussion. He compares it to an orchestra taking a few minutes to tune before a performance. Tuning is a sign of discipline, self-respect, and mutual respect. It's the space where we can recalibrate, breathe, write down thoughts for later, anticipate and minimize distractions. Taking 3 minutes to prepare, paradoxically, will shorten discussions because you won't be distracted by subconscious thoughts, feelings, or the need to interrupt, fix, or drift away. When you are ready to listen, it creates a space for you and the speaker. Have no other place to be. Once tuned, we can enter spaces with the readiness to focus and give our undivided attention. Trimboli explains that it is our presence and the orientation of our attention as listeners that transform the quality of thinking in the room. When speakers experience what your attention brings to the discussion, they notice it, mention it, and ultimately mirror it when they listen to you. Being fully present is essential. Nothing says you don't matter like a leader who is checking email while someone is speaking. For more tips on how to be present and show up with presence, you can read our blog on leadership at a distance. How to be there when you're not there. Hold space and silence. For those who have participated in our learning sessions, you know that Colin and I are comfortable with holding silence. I must admit, getting to this point was not an easy journey for me. As I wrote about in The Power of Silence in Leadership. What's your relationship with it? The value of silence is that it allows people to think, process, and respond. According to Nancy Klein, author of Time to Think, we live in an interrupting culture, and interrupting diminishes our thinking. As leaders, to elicit the best thinking from our people, we need to say less, ask more, and become comfortable with holding silence. One thing we know for sure is that time is undefeated. It is unstoppable. The best we can do is adapt and make the most of the 24 hours we have each day. A leader who can give their undivided attention when listening will reap huge benefits in their leadership and work relationships. The art of silence. How speaking less can make you more powerful, successful, and charismatic. Wise men speak when they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Plato. Wise men speak when they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Plato. Right now, we live in a world where anyone and everyone can voice their opinions about literally anything. I saw people comment on a video of someone peeling their orange wrong. As amusing as it was watching people getting riled up about the weirdest things, it came to me, what did they benefit? It reminded me of the quote above so well. The human tongue is a powerful weapon like the human mind. Only a few can master it. The art of silence is the ability to control what you say and how much you say. So often, we let our tongues loose, and as a result, it got us into countless unnecessary trouble. We let things slip we tend to regret later. Most people believe when a person speaks more than his conversational partner, it means they're smarter, as if they're handing out some philosophical advice. When in reality, if they're trying to impress you with their words, the more they say, the more ordinary they look. And it'll show you they don't have much control over themselves. Next time you have a chance to observe a powerful person, whether they're in a movie, meeting with the CEO, networking event, literally anywhere, keep an eye on them. Witness how much they talk and how they respond, of course. It depends on the context. But whenever there's any unnecessary talking involved, like showing off or to keep the room from going quiet, notice how their power depletes with every word. The more a man knows, the less he talks. Voltaire. The more a man knows, the less he talks. Voltaire. 1. It makes you seem more confident in yourself. Often, the more a person talks, the less confident they are. Rarely anyone recognizes it on our thought plane right away. But your subconscious will immediately pick it up and hint at it until you realize it. Who are the ones that don't mind being alone for an indefinite amount of time? They're the ones that radiate self-confidence, self-love, and have an abundant amount of self-worth. Why? Because you don't care what they think about you. You don't have anything to prove to them. So, you don't talk unless you have to. It's funny because when you're not trying to impress anyone, that'll impress them the most. Why is it important to subtly show the world you have self-confidence? No one will have the confidence to hand you the keys to a kingdom if you don't have enough confidence in yourself. No one will have the confidence to spend the rest of their lives with you if you don't have enough confidence in yourself. 2. It makes you seem more intelligent. The more you talk, the bigger chance you'll say something foolish. People love to dominate their conversations with proud jargon. Depending on what they're saying, it can take mere seconds to a few minutes to realize the utter nonsense they're saying and the unusefulness of it all. Never put yourself in that situation where they leave and wonder how much of what you said was true or how you didn't know anything about that subject yet persisted in talking about it. Most of the successful people I've known are the ones who do more listening than talking. Bernard M. Baruch. There's the truth behind these wise words. When you listen and truly listen, not just with the intent for the sake of replying but listening to understand, you get a better understanding of the situation, whatever it may be. You ponder the words, the tones, and the stories that are being directed at you. With that, you can reply with a better understanding of what's going on. You analyze and dissect the situation in your head better and then reply with a golden response. When someone responds too quickly, especially when they cut someone off, they say something irrelevant to the situation and utterly useless because they didn't listen properly. Think of it as currency. The more dollars printed in society, the less valuable it becomes, right? So similarly, the more someone talks to you, the less you're going to value the weight of their words. Do the opposite. Let your words carry more value. 3. Using it in confrontations or sales pitches can be a tool to help you gain more. It'll only work if you keep a straight face, though. It'll have the opposite effect if you become silent after you've had a hesitant voice or anxious face the entire time. No one's a mind reader. They don't know what you're thinking. So if you put on a straight face, a confident face, voice on phone calls, would be even better. Their guess could be as good as the next person's. Of course, they can guess what you're thinking, which they will often do, and it might be pretty accurate because they were present the entire time. But there will always be a small faint voice of uncertainty in the back of their minds. The uncertainty will first start small, but it'll rapidly continue to grow the longer the silence is. They will break the silence as not to let you think. You thinking is what they want you to refrain from. It isn't good for them if you think for yourself. Make decisions for yourself. Ponder the depth of what's going on. Why would they let you do it? A. You tell them and stay silent for them to yell at you. B. Tell them, crack a joke about it, and you both laugh. The answer is B. They forgot the gravity of what happened because the joke is the more recent memory that's being processed. But that's what you want. You want them to break the silence because often that's when your Ben's discounts or the truth about Sarah starts rolling in. That little voice of uncertainty is now as large as the right side of their brain. They're rethinking the Bens. Let me make a better offer to keep them enticed. She definitely knows about Sarah. I might be able to salvage it if I make up a good excuse. 4. The less you say, the slimmer chance you say something stupid. How often do you see on TV two people talking, and one of them slips up and says something that can destroy their life, marriage, or career, and you're sitting there shaking, your head saying how dumb they are, and that it can't happen to me? Well, there's a lot of Ms. in the world every single day. Why do you think they came up with "you have the right to remain silent"? Anything you say can and will be used against you? It wasn't to keep them from getting stitches from the snitches. Staying silent is also a reflection from point number 3. The more you talk, the chances you blurt something that'll hurt your credibility or diminish your competence increases with every word. People pick up hints and clues hiding in your speech and body language. So even if you don't blurt out something detrimental, they will still know something is up. Imagine this scenario. After reading it, close your eyes and picture it. John, one of your co-workers, comes in and says, "I just came back from Hawaii. It was beautiful. I scuba dived, hiked on a mountain, and ate a ton. I had a blast." If you haven't already, now is the time to close your eyes. Take it in. You're jealous, right? And you should be. He sounds like he had a blast. Now do the same again for Steve. "I just came back from Hawaii. It was beautiful. I scuba dived, hiked on a mountain, and ate a ton. I had a blast. Until it started raining the rest of the trip. And I was stuck in the hotel room for most of the trip. It did stop from here to there, so I squeezed in some beach time." Now close your eyes and think about Steve's trip. Not the same, is it? It sounded fun, but you went from jealous to glad that wasn't you. No one needs to know your misfortunes, of course. You can always vent to the people closest to you. But not everyone wants the same happiness for you as your loved ones do. Leverage the mystery of John's trip to make your own. Imagination impress and amaze you. If you broke someone's lamp, what would be better? 5. It'll create a sense of mystery. It's the unknown that draws people. Buchianeri. All the above now sets us up to creating a mysterious persona. Most people's imaginations run wild, in a realistic sense. If done everything above right, at least better than the average person. We could quite literally leverage people's imaginations to your advantage. All this by doing less, talking less. It's vital to keep in mind. Confidence is the key to unlocking all these benefits. Again, you don't need real confidence, which I don't see why you wouldn't have. You're a beautiful soul, just like everybody else. So act like it, or the next best option. Fake it till you make it. As Buchianeri puts it, it's the unknown that draws people. People are naturally interested in the unknown and the mystery of it all. It's the way our minds are wired. It's not wrong in any way. It's how our ancestors were able to get us to where we are now from their Stone Age era. They figured out how to capture electricity and conduct it to our will. They watched the birds above and unlocked the mystery of flight. And now we are able to fly to the coconut-filled Bahamas for our well-needed vacation. Did you ever have a feeling that someone you know is hiding something, and it bugged you for a long time? We love mystery because it saves us from our boring, mundane, repetitive lifestyles. Imagine you knew everything about everything and everyone. Just imagine how boring would that be? All this is another reason why talking less is beneficial for you. Remember, you're not trying to be mysterious. You'll be creating a faint mysterious aura by talking less. Trying to be mysterious can and most probably will make you come off as a creep, which you definitely don't want. A good way of pulling it off is by listening more, saying only positive things about yourself, and mostly talking about the other person, which you can do by asking more open-ended questions, like, where do you plan on traveling next and why? 6. Waiting 2 seconds to speak. This one's real popular in the charisma world. For me, this took me a bit to get used to. Waiting 2 seconds before you reply to someone can reap massive benefits. A little measly 2 seconds. A decent conversation typically involves some back and forth. Like a tennis match, pay attention to the flow of the conversation. Most people would rush a response when you finish your sentence if they didn't cut you off before then. Rushing to respond shows people a desire that they want to impress the other person. They have something important and relevant to what the other person says that they have to jump in and add their opinion. Little do they know, rushing their thoughts indicates that they fear the other person will become disinterested in what they have to say, so they get out their contribution as quickly as possible. They want to show everyone they can contribute, that they are well equipped to handle their own life full of fun, casualties, and surprises. Who doesn't want to be heard? Everyone does, and everyone knows that too. So if someone rushes to say something and goes as far as even rudely interrupts someone talking, people usually take it as not enough people in their lives to listen to them. Rarely does anyone know that, but they feel it subconsciously. Pay attention. Next time someone interrupts you or someone else and tries to hog the spotlight, instead, count 2 seconds in your head before you reply to someone. Often you'll realize the person wasn't done talking. They might have paused for dramatic effect, to take a breath, to gather their thoughts really quickly, or multiple other reasons. You'll come off as genuinely interested. And you're paying attention enough to notice they're not done. Second, another major reason to wait 2 seconds is to create tension between the end of their thought and your reply. It can drastically raise your confidence and power. It'll prove to people that, in the deep depths of your mind, you know people will listen to what you have to say. 7. You'll be present. We talked about how being present is vital to being charismatic. By following everything we talked about above, people will see you in a new, better light, and figure out how to act or respond accordingly while hiding most of your faults that people tend to blurt out about themselves. It's a secret that sets you up to becoming a better person with little effort. This is basically how I find my openings to influence people. And it's also how I find opportunities one can use to connect with someone. I listen, 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 and wait for an opportunity to strike. You can't do that if you're doing most of the talking. Critical warning, I am not saying to be quiet the whole time. As I said, a good conversation is like a tennis match, flowing back and forth. But keeping the limelight mostly on the other person is where the benefits roll in. A great way of doing it is, boom, you guessed it, by asking them open-ended questions. So before speaking, analyze the content. And ask yourself, does this really matter? Can it hurt me in any way? Can someone use it against me later on?